NFL, where the Patriots are starting off season team activities. They're coming off a trip to the Super Bowl. They got some question marks, like who will Drake Maye throw to? Stephon Diggs is out. Is A.J. Brown in? And how's the team dealing with head coach Mike Vrabel's off-field controversy with NFL reporter Diana Rossini? Vrabel addressed that today.
Oh, really good. I think that's, again, I appreciate my family is great. I love Jen. I love the boys. I love, my personal friends. I mean, I can only tell you I'm going to be there today, but I can't tell you anything other than I'm going to be out there today in full force. And I mean that because, who knows what's going to come up. I'm not even,
We're on the scene at Patriots OTAs in Foxborough with Mike Reese. And Mike, New England is just a few months removed from that stinging Super Bowl loss to the Seahawks. What's the team here saying about facing Seattle to open up the upcoming season?
Kevin, earlier today in this room, Mike Vrabel said facing the Seahawks wherever and whenever would be tough. But because it's week one in Seattle, he's going to tailor a big part of his training camp on how the Patriots handle that environment. And quarterback Drake Maye, he called it a tone setter.
It's a chance for us to get some extra motivation during training camp. With starting off with a bang, like that. A chance to get a opponent that left a bad taste in our mouth. So I think it's something for us that's going to really make us work. We got to bring it week one, on the road in a tough environment, with their, they're going to be hanging their banner, and that's the part of it. So I think it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be a tough task. So it'll be something for us to get some extra motivation and make training camp better.
As painful as it was for Maye, Kevin, he said he did go back and watch that Super Bowl. He said as a young player facing that defense for the first time, there's a lot that he can learn. And
we'll see what he does learn, especially with the season opener being Maye's first time playing in Seattle. Let's stay with the quarterback and this offense. Last we heard from Adam Schefter, Eagles are expected to trade A.J. Brown to the Patriots on June 1st. What other clarity can you provide to this ongoing saga?
Well, Kevin, let me tell you, Mike Vrabel today was sort of asked a question about this without A.J. Brown's name being mentioned, and he said they're open and willing to every opportunity they can have to improve the team. You mentioned June 1st. Why June 1st? Because that's the date that the Eagles can spread out the salary cap hit over the next 2 years. So that's led to a lot of anticipation over what's going to happen when the calendar turns to June next week. And defensive tackle Milton Williams, who played with Brown last year, 2 years ago, I should say, in Philadelphia, said he's obviously heard the noise, Kevin. I asked him today if he has any temptation to go up and play the role of the GM and say, trade for my former teammate. He said, they don't pay me to do that.
Well, keep in mind, no wide receivers had a better 4 years as an Eagle than A.J. Brown. Well, Sports Center, Christine and Kevin with you. Lamar Jackson showed up to Ravens OTAs yesterday after missing last week with what new head coach Jesse Minter called a couple things he had to take care of. Big year for Lamar in Baltimore after missing the playoffs. Here he is. Here's his new coach on his star quarterback.
A one-of-a-kind quarterback in the National Football League that's won 2 MVPs. He's obviously done things at the most elite, highest level. And so just watching him get better and better over the years and making the plays and continuing to get better that all players search for, to see that and to now have a chance to be on the same side is pretty cool.
It's different. It's different, new. I feel like everything is new right now. But it's cool. Atmosphere is smooth. Just looking forward to the season now, that's all.
Minter and Jackson in the honeymoon phase. Two-time Super Bowl champ Booger McFarland joining us here. Boog, for the first time in Lamar's pro career, he has a head coach not named John Harbaugh. What are your expectations for this Ravens team?
New head coach, Kev, same expectations, though, Kev. It is Super Bowl. I'm not going to say or bust, but the Super Bowl is the goal for this Ravens football team. And it really comes down to this. They've been dominant during the regular season. They've amassed a ton of victories, but can their best players show up and play in the biggest moments? That's been the issue for the Ravens. Think about the Buffalo game. Mark Andrews dropped the ball. Think about the playoff game last year where Lamar Jackson had a couple of turnovers. Think about the Derrick Henry fumble. Can their best players show up to play in the biggest moments, and that only can happen in January. So I get it, and Jesse Minter's coming there, and he's rah-rah, and he's got a new enthusiasm, and you're going to see a bunch of life in this team because that's what happens when you get a new coach. But ultimately, they're not going to be judged by September, October, November, or December. It's going to be January in the playoffs. Can this team and their best players play in the biggest moments? If they do, the Super Bowl is very attainable, Kevin.
You certainly have high expectations for this Ravens team. Let's talk about a contender in the NFC, a team that won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. The Eagles expected to trade A.J. Brown after June 1st. Quarterback Jalen Hurts was asked about Brown earlier today. Listen to this.
Nothing's changed since we last spoke at the end of the season. We're really good, and I saw how beautiful the pictures came out at his wedding. I'm very happy for him and his wife and his family, and it's a beautiful thing to step into covenant. So I was very excited and congratulatory towards that.
Feels like only a matter of time as June 1st is fast approaching, where the Eagles have the option. Of course, it changes their whole salary cap situation to trade A.J. Brown after that date. How do you see Philly competing without A.J. Brown in this new offense?
First of all, the fact that he saw the pictures of the covenant tells us he didn't go, which is another question we should ask after this first question here, Kev. That's number one. Number two, I think the offense is going to be run through Saquon Barkley again. I think Sean Mannion has come in. He was one of about 25 guys they interviewed. They hired Sean Mannion. I think if you're Sean Mannion, you got to run the football through Saquon Barkley. And then can Jalen Hurts adjust to the under center play action game? I know he's got a new offensive coordinator for the umpteenth time, but he's making a lot of money. He's a professional quarterback. He's got to come out. And I think this is the biggest season of Jalen Hurts' career. Kev, I know this is your football team. I would love to get your input because to me, everybody usually runs toward the star quarterback. A.J. Brown is running away. They put everything around Jalen Hurts, new coordinator, Saquon Barkley. You don't want A.J. Brown? He seemingly is going to be gone June 1st. Now it's on you, Jalen Hurts. And so, Kev, is he going to do something, or are they going to get him up off the pot? To me, that's the biggest question in Philadelphia this offseason.
Especially with this system under center. There's going to be the microscope specifically on Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. And by the way, you talked about the second question, the wedding. Maybe the invitation got lost in the mail, like some, going on a golf weekend excursion and then didn't invite others to join. You understand that. Maybe that happened. Maybe somebody just didn't get invited. Booger McFarland here with us on Sports Center.
It's a
season that is QB battles in the NFL. Kyler Murray, J.J. McCarthy battling for the Vikings starting job. Cardinals cut loose of Murray. Minnesota snapped them up after McCarthy really struggled in his first extended look as a starter. Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson says he looks forward to working with someone of Murray's ability.
It's been great. It's been great. Obviously, I know he's a younger guy, so any way I can help him. Obviously, I feel like I've played 7 years now, going on 8. So I'm considered a veteran, even though I don't see myself as that. Give him any knowledge that he needs. Again, we're both competitors, and I know we both want what's best for the team.
Look, the organization made a decision that they feel like is going to improve and the depth and the quality of the room, and they feel like they made that decision. But all I'm thinking about is continuing the upward trajectory that I set for myself last season, that last quarter of the season, and continue to be the best version of me every single day.
Booger McFarland back with us here. The Vikings looking for stability at the quarterback position. It's May. Who do you see winning the job by September, McCarthy or Murray?
I love when you ask me obvious questions. It's like asking who's more handsome, me or you. Clearly, it's me, and clearly Kyler Murray is going to win this quarterback competition because if they were happy with the guy that they had, Kev, they wouldn't have brought in Kyler Murray. This is a simple answer. They need somebody that can unlock Justin Jefferson and Juwan Jennings and Jordan Addison and T.J. Hawkinson. You get my drift, Kev? They got a lot of weapons in Minnesota. And for whatever reason, J.J. McCarthy, the moment looked too big for him last year. I don't think Kevin O'Connell, the head coach, wants to go through another season because by all accounts, he's supposed to be an offensive genius. Well, the genius didn't look so good last year, and I think he's going to do something about it. And the obvious answer, just like me, Kev, it's Kyler Murray.
Thank goodness you have so much self-confidence. Thank goodness. I would hate to see the other option. All right, let's see how that one plays out. Another quarterback battle in Atlanta. Here's new quarterback Tua Tagovailoa on Michael Penix earlier today. Listen to this.
Shoot, I'm impressed by what he's shown out there. Of course. You can just tell that he's been here working really hard to be able to get back out there. And you can see the level of respect that the guys that have been here last year with him have for him, both offense and defensively. And then also, new coaching staff, but you can see the amount of respect that the coaches have for him too. So it's been good fun to go out there, compete with him. I'm trying to help him as much as I can as well.
Kind of a different vibe from what we heard, what's going on in Minnesota. Tua's going to battle it out with Michael Penix, who's coming off the ACL injury. What do you make of the quarterback situation in Atlanta?
Yeah, well, this one is more strategic. I compared this to golf since you brought that up before. Do you want the guy that can hit it down the middle of the fairway 275, 280 yards every time? Or do you want Rory McIlroy that can hit it 330? Might not always go where you want it to go, but it's going to be deep and long. See, Tua Tagovailoa to me is the more accurate pinpoint passer. He can get the ball out in rhythm and timing. And if Kevin Stefanski wants to run this offense through Bijan Robinson with the play action pass, he may go with Tua Tagovailoa. But for some reason, if Kevin says, you know what? I want the big play threat. I want Booger McFarland that can hit it 330 down the field. Then you're going with the guy with the bigger arm, and that's Michael Penix. Now, both of these things are going to be congruent upon health. Both quarterbacks have to be healthy. Remember, Michael Penix is coming off the ACL. So, health withstanding, I would lean toward Tua Tagovailoa, the more accurate guy. Yeah, but you know what they say, man. Everybody digs the long ball. So, Michael Penix has a fighting chance.
The problem is that when you describe your golf game, 330 down the field means it's the other hole, and you're just yelling, 4! as it's going through the trees, and it's hitting somebody else on a tee box.
It's still a long way away, buddy.
Yes. Can't forget that you're just the handsome one that's on the golf course. Booger McFarland.